A lot of people refer to it as the silent killer.
Oh.
I'm going to order an ultrasound. There's something in there.
Oh.
I'm very sorry, but it's very bad.
Oh my gosh.
You have cancer. I'm doing great today. I learned how to change my shit bag. Doctor said, well, you're not our normal 72-year-old woman. I said, hallelujah.
Yes.
The most important factor to a healthy well-being is feeling connected. Welcome to From There to Here, a safe place where we will explore some of life's adventures so that you do not feel alone.
Hello there. Happy Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday or whenever you're listening to this, whatever day of the week. I guess we drop episodes on Monday, so I usually say happy
People
Monday.
People are waiting for this moment,
yes,
of course.
Of course, yes. This is your hosts of From There to Here, Shannon and Jess. Jess, what's in your heart lens today?
She's
been waiting for to say this. She's very excited.
It was in my Facebook memory today.
I'm like on pins and needles
I officially have you tagged in this now.
Oh, okay.
Do you have any guess what it is?
No. What's today?
13 years ago today, Shannon was in her Just 5 classroom.
Okay. Oh my God, now
and
I know.
she sees this little thing on the floor. She's like, what is that? So she gets a little closer. She's looking at it. She decides to pick this little thing on the floor up, and she's inspecting it. It's like a little brown marble-shaped object. She doesn't know what it is still. So she decides to smell it. And that's when she determined it was poop.
It was poop.
Oh, my goodness.
She had picked
Jess
up...
loves this story.
She picked up a little turd off of the carpet of her classroom and didn't realize it was a turd until I mean, how close was it? How close was it to your mouth?
Oh my goodness.
So that's one of my favorite Facebook memories that I get to see every year. That was in my heartland.
Shannon picks up poop.
Yes.
It's in Jess's heartland.
What's in your heartland?
I was going to say, I've probably done it since then.
Nuh-uh.
Well, I have babies now.
Yes, but...
It's usually when it's someone else's.
Yes. I don't actually know if I've actually really. Well, probably. I have a dog too. Or
Yeah.
So,
But you hopefully you knew what it was. Anyway. What's in your heartland?
Okay. I actually don't really have a heart lens to talk about.
Okay.
But I saw this again on Facebook, and I was like, this is good to start talking about. So when we share our heart lens and we talk about hard things on the podcast, and I just wanted to put it out there that we are not trying to say the world is rainbows and unicorns and everything is positive, and no matter what happens in your life, you can turn it around and have a positive and da-da-da. So this post was about toxic positivity and how we just have to be happy and we can only have good vibes and good energy and of course, we want to be positive people, but then it just kind of went on to how do you avoid toxic positivity, and you manage your negative emotions. You don't deny them, you feel them, you're realistic about this is a feeling and I need to notice this and sit with it, and then you can listen to
I feel like we've
that
talked
anger.
about this in some episodes. Amanda, somatic healing, she talked about that energy gets stuck in you if you just pretend it's
not there.
Yeah, for sure.
You kind of just rub it off your shoulder, right? So it just says the problem is that life isn't always positive. We all deal with painful emotions and experiences. So it's definitely not my heart lens to talk about toxic positivity.
No, but I think
just
that's
was
perfect.
I want to take this moment to say our heart lens segment here is not about toxic positivity, right?
Yes.
We're just trying to start our episodes with joy and show how we can shift thoughts, but not in a toxic positive way.
I like it.
Okay. All right. So there we go. We have a guest with us today, and JoAnne, I would like to give you this opportunity to be toxically positive. No, no, just share what's in your heart lens.
Oh, well, I went to my grandson's flag football games last night.
Yes. How old is he?
Well, I have 2 that are 10
Okay.
and 1 that's 8.
Okay.
So, and, I love going to all their athletic events and whatever. And
if you know the Spenceley family, no one misses anything ever. And everyone's always there. All of you. There's always
fun.
Yes, it's really amazing.
And it just fills my heart when even my 14-year-old grandson in public will come up and give me a hug.
Oh.
When they, how many 14-year-old boys, will initiate a hug too.
That's precious.
Yes.
Truly.
So I'm just really grateful that.
We're grateful you're here for that too. As we get into the episode, we'll talk deeper about that.
Yes, I have developed an attitude of gratitude every day. So.
Attitude of gratitude.
Yes.
I love that. If
Happiness isn't getting what you want; it's wanting what you have. So
You got a lot of quotes over
I know.
there.
I'm like, we end our episode with a quote, so be thinking maybe one
there
of
you
those
go.
will.
I have a couple more too.
Okay. If any of our listeners has a heart lens they would like to share, if you've been a listener, you know what to do. You can go to our website, podcastfromtheretohere.net. Please share with us, and we can read your joys during our upcoming episodes. You know we have a guest with us here today. Aunt JoAnne Spenceley is here with us to share about her journey through, can we say through? Are we through this?
As far as all my test results.
Okay. So
Through ovarian cancer, which, correct me if I'm wrong, and this is going to sound like a harsh way to say it, but is that almost a death sentence for a lot of people? What's your understanding of that, JoAnne?
A lot of people refer to it as the silent killer. Because you don't have a lot of symptoms that would correlate to that.
Oh my goodness! Now I just have like a bomb of questions going off in my head, but I won't. Well, no, I won't start there. Because there was.
But looking back, do you want me to start?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, it was a year ago in July. I had pulled the muscle. Working out in my abdomen. And
can we give a little background here too? Like, how old are you?
Okay. I am 73.
That was not a question on our preparation list
but
here
it's
for
sort
her.
of valid, I think, for what we're about to say, right? Because
yes. I'm 73.
You work out.
I'm a retired physical education volleyball and track coach. Been retired for 15 years. I still work out. I do CrossFit.
Oh my golly.
I know.
Brittany, are you listening to this interview?
I love
Maybe
it.
you know my sister.
No, but anyway, I'd pulled an abdominal muscle. And my son, who is my trainer,
yes,
Chet, he's brilliant in my book.
Yeah.
And, he had told me, I need to take some time off, let that heal. Well, a few weeks later, then I was working out, but it's just like I felt something hard, in that area. And I thought, well, maybe that's just scar tissue. But then I started being gassy and whatever. And I just thought, well, I wonder if that's because it was in the area right below my sternum. I was just like, I wonder if I have a hiatal hernia.
Oh,
okay.
So I made an appointment with my general practitioner. That would have been July 5th. He ordered blood work and whatever. And he wanted x-ray. And I go, what? And he goes, well, maybe you have a cracked rib. I thought,
okay.
No, I don't.
Yeah. And a hernia would be
Yeah,
pretty
not show up on an X-ray.
Okay. And it's something that like people who work out often can get.
Correct.
It's not like out of the norm to get a hernia if you're working out. And okay.
And at that point too, I started getting some pain along the left side of my abdomen. And the blood work that came out, he ordered an ultrasound. And I had an ultrasound on July 20th, but they did it on the right side, the lower right side. And I go,
but that's not my pain.
Do the left. Well, no, the doctor said because of your I think my spleen is on my right side. He says, maybe some elevated enzymes or whatever.
Okay.
They, said just the right side. And I go, that's not where my pain is.
Right. That makes
You're doing
sense.
this wrong.
And so I went back to the doctor July 31st, and lo and behold, that doctor was not there anymore.
Oh.
And I go,
interesting.
I maybe know why. And the doctor then, I really like him. And another doctor came in and ordered that I see a gastroenterologist. But I wasn't able to get in to see him until October 9th.
Oh, right. Wait, sir.
And at that time, too, usually in August, I have my yearly mammogram and checkup with my gynecologist and that. And during the pelvic exam, she goes, I'm going to order an ultrasound. There's something in there.
Oh.
And
you're like, did you think like I knew it? Or were you?
And I go, well, at that time, the pain was more localized in the lower abdomen.
Interesting.
And she ordered it for August 30th.
Okay.
Well, on Friday, August 25th, I started to get some excruciating pain in my lower abdomen. And I was not able to have a bowel movement, which is
not good.
Not like me at all.
Okay.
Not like me at all. The very next day, I was at the high school football team videotaping the game for the coach. And every once in a while, I just doubled over in pain.
Oh, wow.
Well, I went home about 3:30 in the afternoon, laid down, and at 5:30, I had to call my son and say, I need you to take me to the emergency room. And my daughter was away on vacation at the time. My son took me to the hospital in Rockford, Illinois. And they did scans. Well, first of all, they doped me up to dull the pain and whatever. So my son was with me, and my ex-boyfriend also came along.
There's more to that.
Also came along. And when the doctor came into the room, the look on his face was very sullen, and he goes, I'm very sorry, but it's very bad.
Oh my gosh.
You have cancer, and we're going to send you to UW-Madison.
Did they tell you what kind of cancer at that point?
They said it's in your ovarian, and it has spread outside that area. So when the doctor left the room, I didn't cry or anything. I think it was just
shock.
Drugs I was on in shock. And the look on my son's face. I mean, he's 6'3.5" and just strong.
Yeah.
And I've never seen him look so scared in my life. And I just looked at him and said, in
you can say
so many other words, I said, I think I'm screwed. So
there may have been an F-bomb though.
Yeah, there was.
Okay.
And from there, they ordered transportation to UW-Madison.
Oh, they
And
wouldn't let your son drive you to Madison?
Oh, no. They wanted to monitor me while I was there and whatever. Anyway, he he's a busy man. And I said, you go home and get things done that you need to get done. Because it was going to be in the middle of the night by the time I got to Madison. But my ex-boyfriend did follow me up there. The scans that they did showed that the reason I was having the pain and could not have a bowel movement is that the tumor was pressing on my colon. And I think I'm very lucky, because if that hadn't been pressing on my colon, I would not have known.
Okay. Because this is a silent killer.
I would not have known. Exactly. So I would not have known.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't have had,
I wouldn't have had that pain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. How big was the tumor, did they say?
I'm not sure how they determine it, but they said it started in my fallopian tubes.
Okay.
So there's so many different phases with everything, but it was stage 3C.
How long did it take you to find out what stage it was? Did they tell you that almost right away? Or?
They told me in Madison.
Okay. And did you know, without going on Google, what stage 3 ovarian cancer meant?
At that time, no.
Okay.
But my doctor in Madison, he's phenomenal.
Did they have to bring you to Madison because in Rockford they didn't have the resources or the knowledge? Or
Right.
Okay.
Well, they have the UW Carbone Cancer Center. They also have a treatment center in Rockford.
Okay.
So that's where I had my chemo treatments and whatever, and a lot of lab work. But the lab work then showed there's a CA-125 test, and it tests, it's a blood test, and it tests the number of ovarian cancer antigens in your system. Mine was extremely high. It was, I think, over 8,000. But since that tumor was pressing on my colon and they didn't know if it had, progressed or metastasized to that area or whatever, they wanted to shrink the tumors before they did a hysterectomy and another surgery. But because of that, of the location then, I had surgery and they put in an ostomy. So I had an ostomy bag, and let's see, that was the 27th
of what month?
Of August.
Oh, so
it was it was like during the night that they did
everything happened real quick once they figured out
exactly
what it was.
I was fortunate. I was recovered quite well from that, and I was home on the 30th then. So
when you were supposed to have your appointment.
Yes.
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 Wow. Yeah.
Were they telling you anything about like survival rates at that point?
They didn't say anything about that, but my doctor told me, he goes, I am confident we can at least get you into remission.
Okay.
So that was
promising,
reassuring.
Yeah.
Reassuring.
Yeah. I imagine on the way to Madison, there were some feelings. Were you processing this? What were your thoughts? Were you just kind of like, I got to wait and hear from the doctor?
Yes.
Okay.
And my initial thought was,
you're screwed. But at
first, but then I thought, I'm going to fight this.
Okay.
I'm going to fight this. I have grandchildren.
Yeah.
I want to see them graduate from high school.
Every single sport game.
I want to dance with them at their weddings. I want to have great grandchildren someday.
Yeah.
And
so you are a strong, healthy, otherwise 72-year-old woman at the time.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So they were a little surprised that I was able to go home so quickly after the ostomy surgery and whatever. Home health care had come in to teach me how to change the bag and everything. And my son was really busy at that time. And, my daughter was phenomenal because she works from home. But when I came home, she came and set up an office in my house so she could take care of me.
Okay.
During that time. I don't know what I would have done without my children.
Yeah.
They were my rocks.
Yeah.
They
They're
really were.
gems.
Yes. Anyway, you know, my son would, when he was off working, and he'd call me and send pictures of him with a smile and say, you know, and that day the home health care lady had just come to teach me about the ostomy. And I always keep my sense of humor. That was, you know, you have to.
Yeah.
during the
Yeah.
sex.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Hey, Mom, how you doing?" I go, "I'm doing great today. I learned how to change my shit bag." He goes, "Geez, Mom."
Yeah.
You have to have some fun in this
Right.
Exactly.
very time of life.
Exactly. Exactly.
Did you ever have any moments at all where you were like terrified or not really?
I think I only broke down and cried once.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then I thought, no, just, you know, I'm not going to pity myself and be, oh, poor me and everything. It's just like, there's so many have gone through this and worse things in their life, really. So it's like, deal with it.
Yeah.
And I think part of that has to do with my upbringing, you know, and it's just like, you know.
Spensleys are tough. That's for sure.
Yes. And I think of a line my father always said, if we started feeling sorry for ourselves, oh, poor me. And he goes, well, isn't that just too damn bad about you? So it's like, yeah, deal with it, you know.
Yeah.
It's something you can't control.
Exactly.
So
my daughter started a Caring Bridge site for me, and I put a post on there and saying that one of my favorite sayings while I was coaching and teaching is that attitude is everything and everything is attitude. From there, even though I'd been retired from teaching and coaching for 15 years, the outpouring of messages, calls, prayers, support.
Entire football games dedicated to you.
Yes. One of my daughter's best friends, Tara, got T-shirts, you know, from the volleyball team, and they honored me at a volleyball match.
Wow.
My ex-daughter-in-law got the junior high football team to get T-shirts and honored me at a game. And my daughter's good friend Sarah, she got T-shirts and everything, and had them all delivered. And they had, at a football game in October, they had support Spensley night.
Oh.
And it was
You were just wrapped in love.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Aside from the family that you want to fight to survive for, you have a lot of people in your corner supporting you and fighting, helping you to fight.
Even, you know, people I coached against and whatever. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
You know, I was
could feel the love.
overwhelmed.
Okay.
And at this football game, I had, you know, family come to that, and halftime came and went, and it's just like, I thought they were going to do something for you or whatever. And I go, I don't know. They just told me to show up. So
Oh, okay.
And
They just told me to show up.
and the third quarter ended, and one of my former student athletes was up in the press box.
Oh my gosh.
And she said, "Could I have your attention, please?" And apparently the officials and the opposing team and everybody knew.
Wow.
They stopped the game. And I'm just looking out, like the officials and both teams are all lined up looking up at me. And Stacy gave a phenomenal speech, and I got a standing ovation. And it's just, yeah, that was pretty special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have goosebumps just hearing about that and trying
was
to
pretty
picture
special.
that.
Yes.
Picture how that must feel to have all of that love and all of those
Yes.
people that are just in your corner helping you to fight.
Yes, it was phenomenal. So
Yes.
just thinking of that. So not only my family, but
Yeah.
Your community wrapped around
yeah,
you.
yeah, that was pretty special.
Yeah.
So
It helps
yes,
you
yes,
to
it did.
have
Yes, it did.
the fight in you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I was in pretty decent shape. I had actually done my CrossFit workout the day before I went to the hospital.
Oh my
wow.
gosh, of course you did.
Let's see. And I had always taken good nutritional supplements,
Okay.
antioxidants, aloe juice, curcumin.
Like this
which
was
is
all part of your regular daily.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And the doctor said, well, you're not our normal 72-year-old woman comes in here. And I said, I've never claimed to be normal. So
What is normal?
Right.
What does that mean?
So what was the treatment then after the surgery?
I started chemo then.
Did they do radiation at all or chemo
No,
first?
I only did
did chemo. Okay.
They wanted 3 rounds of chemo
Oh, wow.
to shrink the tumors.
That's not a lot at all.
And then have the surgery to remove
okay.
everything.
Okay.
So I had my first chemo September 20th.
Oh, it is amazing how fast they can make things happen when
Yes.
we figure out the problem.
Yes. And then it was October 11th where I had my port put in, I had that
Yes.
done in Rockford. And it was also that day that it was not a good day when I found out that my relationship with my boyfriend was ending.
That was
The
the
day
same
that you
That
got
was
your
the same
port.
day. Same day
So
I got
the
my
port
in.
for chemo, right?
Yes, the
Okay.
port for where they do the infusions.
Yep. Okay.
I then had my second chemo October 17th, and
Did you lose
Then
your hair?
I was starting to lose my hair then.
Okay.
And a former student who has a salon in Freeport, Illinois, ordered me 3 high-end wigs.
Oh, wow.
And so that really helped out.
Yeah.
So I went and tried them on, and I said, I don't know which way I want. And she goes, she can have all 3.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So bless her heart.
Did
So,
you end up shaving your head then?
it started to come out in clumps, so then I just shaved
Shaved
it.
That's what a
I
lot of
just
people
shaved
have known to
So,
have chemo
yes.
said.
And so
How did that treatment make you feel? Were you pretty...
I was very fortunate.
okay.
Well, they give you steroids to counteract any side effects from the infusions. There were 2 different drugs that I had taken during the infusion. So a few days after that, I was kind of on a steroid high.
Oh.
But then, like the 3rd day, it's just like I got really tired.
Okay.
And kind of achy, but I never got nauseous
Okay.
or anything like that. I was very fortunate.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Did you ever consider any holistic options?
like
Either for the cancer or for any potential side
I
effects?
did. With the help of my son and daughter, we found an alternative
Alternative to the chemo?
to take with,
to do with.
to go
okay.
with.
Okay.
And I started taking it September 6th, so before my first
Okay.
chemo. And
even before you started your chemo.
At that time, yes,
Yeah.
even before I started my chemo. So at the time of my first blood test, the CA-125 was over 8,000.
Yeah.
My
The next
let's see,
time
my
you
first
had it?
chemo, it was down to 5,889.
Wow. What is it supposed to be at?
Under 35.
35, 2
gosh.
digits, and you were in
Yes.
8,000.
Oh, my.
Whoa. Okay.
And it
Yes.
came down 3,000
Yeah.
before
And
chemo
then
started.
for my second chemo, the blood test showed it was down to 3,043.
Wow.
And
So whatever you were doing, all of it together
all
was
of it
working.
together. On my 3rd chemo, November 7th, it was 319.
Oh, wow. And what
I
did the
had,
doctors have to say about that?
They were amazed how how well I was responding.
Did you
to
ever,
the
ever,
treatment.
ever tell them you were doing this?
No, I did not.
Okay.
I did not.
So in episode 43, we had interviewed a chiropractor, Dr. Schaefer, and we titled that episode "What the Health," because the only FDA approved treatment, medicine, what is chemo and radiation for cancer.
Correct.
And so if you go outside of those lines, your doctors will consider you to still have cancer if you ever get in remission.
So I did not tell them.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
So yes, so November 7th for my third chemo, it was down to 319. And I still had,
you still had the mass?
I still had everything in, they hadn't done the surgery to remove, to do the hysterectomy.
This chemo was just to shrink that tumor.
Yes.
And then you were going to do the surgery second.
Yes. Okay. So November 22nd, I had a scan, and the mass that was in outside my ovaries and whatever, it was in the omentum, which is the fatty tissue outside the organs in your abdomen. That mass was at the beginning was 5 inches by 3 inches. And the scan November 22nd showed that was almost gone.
Whoa.
Yes.
It shrunk the mass. And 5 by 3 inches. I'm like holding my fingers up, listeners, to see how big that's huge.
Yes. And the tumors had shrunk considerably also.
Wow.
How many tumors did you have?
I don't know.
Oh,
it
okay.
was,
But they said it spread.
Yes. And I think because of that mass at the beginning, they thought it had metastasized to other organs or parts of my body. And but apparently it had not.
I was going to say it didn't. Okay.
November 29th, then I had a pre-op at UW-Madison, and they went over everything that they would do. I was cut the full length of my abdomen. And they said, well, we'll do the complete hysterectomy, and we'll basically take your intestines out and take out, whatever cancer cells we see in there or look anything that looks suspicious. And they said it would be a lengthy operation. And my son was with me, and he asked, what are the chances when you get in there that you'll reverse that ostomy?
Oh, right. Yeah.
And the doctor said, I don't want to get your hopes up. He goes, maybe 10%.
Oh, okay.
Maybe 10%.
Were they thinking you were going to be living with the ostomy for the remainder of your...
They didn't know if it had infiltrated my colon or whatever, so they didn't know at that point.
Okay.
December 18th then, I had the surgery. During Christmas then, I stayed at my daughter's house, and she took care of me. Then I was only in the hospital. I had surgery 18th. I was home on the 21st.
How did surgery go overall?
Well, it lasted... both my son and daughter were there, and they said maybe 4 or 5 hours. Well, it got to be 6 hours, 7 hours.
Oh, gosh.
And they were just going,
something must be wrong. That's what I would be thinking.
That's what they were thinking. Well, finally, then it was like 9:30 at night then by the time they were able to come in the room and see me after I got out of post-op and whatever. I woke up, and they, tears and smiles, and they go, Mom, doctor said it went great. And Chet said they were able to reverse the ostomy. And I said, hallelujah.
Yes. Yeah. Because you had that for about 4 months.
Yes. Yes. So I was.
Is that why the surgery took longer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And, they basically took everything out. Well, the very next day, can I say my doctor's name?
Sure. That's up to you.
Dr. Kushner came in.
You love Dr. Kushner.
Yeah, he was great.
Yes.
He was great. I had saw a former student of mine who went through basically the same thing, and she had Dr. Kushner, and she goes, I call him Special K.
Oh. When you say they pretty much took out everything, what does that mean?
Well, they took as all my intestines out and cleaned, whatever, and then put it back in. And
when my eyes are huge right now.
When he came in, I had 45 staples in my abdomen.
Oh, yeah.
And the next day when he came into the room, even though he had a mask on, I could tell he was smiling from ear to ear. And he goes, I think we got most of it, if not all of it.
Oh, wow.
And he said that it had not metastasized to any other organs. He said there were 2 little spots on my spleen, and they just lasered them off.
Okay.
But the biopsy showed it was nothing. They took some lymph nodes out lower in my abdomen, but they said that came back benign.
Clean. Yeah.
So, I was very fortunate.
So they sew you back up. You go to your daughter's to stay for a bit.
Yes, and then they wanted to be sure, so they had me do 3 more rounds of chemo.
Oh, okay.
So I had the staples removed on December 29th.
This whole time, were you pairing that holistic thing with the chemo and the surgery?
I had stopped. They didn't want me to take any nutritional supplements or anything before my surgery.
Okay. Yep.
And so I stopped taking
everything.
that as well.
Yep.
On January 3rd, I had my 4th chemo.
Okay.
My next one then was February 9th, and I started to take that alternative at that same time. I had the 5th one February 9th, and at that time my CA-125 was 31.7.
So in the range you needed. Do you know what it was after surgery? Did they do it after surgery?
Well, it was... I'm not sure what it was.
Okay. That's okay. I was just wondering.
I'm not sure what it was.
What the baseline was after surgery. But
March 1st then was my last chemo. And my CA-125 was 26.5. And then April 1st, a month later, I had my PET scan, and it was down to 23.5. And I saw my doctor April 3rd then, and I had the PET scan April 1st, and I said, they told me it was clear, and I thought, it's not an April Fool's joke.
Right. You wouldn't do that, would you?
Joke.
He said, you are clear. No signs of
From
cancer
stage
anywhere.
3 to clear in a matter of how many months?
Not even a year.
7.
Yeah.
7 months.
I mean, is that to me, that seems remarkable, but
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. And not to be like someone your age, but also like not all 72, 73-year-olds are going to recover like that, it seems like.
So it was, it was,
and now
I lost quite a bit of weight. I lost like 30 pounds.
Yeah.
And, but I've gained it all back and then some.
Well, you're back to working out.
Yes.
So at that point in beginning of April, you're in remission.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How often do you have to go back now to make sure you stay in remission?
Okay. Every 3 months.
Every 3 months.
I went back July 3rd, and
that's about a year from you having that pain.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm basically on my son said, it's not if cancer comes back, it's when. So he said,
okay.
Be on that alternative on a maintenance dose.
Okay.
So I go,
okay.
So I go 6 weeks off, 2 weeks on, and I'll do that the rest of my life.
Okay.
Because it's no side effects whatsoever.
For that alternative medication.
Correct.
Okay.
So July 3rd then, my
and
CA...
is this alternative medicine expensive?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
Like less than $100?
Yes.
Less than 50?
Yes. Less than 20.
Oh my gosh.
Is it legal? That's my next question. You don't have to share that, but after the mics go off, I want to hear more about it for my dad.
Okay. July 3rd, then, when I had my 3-month checkup, my CA 125 was 22.
Oh, wow.
So,
And that's what they really
down.
want to make sure is in
yes.
underneath the 35.
I mean, some people may have those antigens in your system and not have cancer.
Oh,
you know,
okay.
but-
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
So
But they
can-
say under 35 is considered normal.
Okay.
And is that specifically ovarian cancer? Like, do they have to test
I
something
believe
different?
so.
Okay.
I believe so.
Okay. Because I'm like, I just want to go get that tested. Do I have any cancer in my body that I need to start taking some alternative medicine
So,
for?
but
Do you know what I mean?
yes.
Yeah.
Like,
And well, the oncologist at the Carbone Center in Rockford, where I went for my treatment, he suggested that I be on what they call a chemo pill
Yeah.
for like 2 years after. And they said it's to make sure it doesn't come back.
Sure.
yeah.
And I said, well, he goes, it's, your prerogative.
Right.
And I said, well, give me some information on it. And the very first thing it said, while you were on this, you will basically feel unwell. I go, well, screw that.
Yeah. Why would you want to live your life feeling unwell?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I talked to other people, and they said, yeah, my husband was
do
on
feel
that, and he
unwell?
said it was horrible. It was like he was sick all the time. And I go,
my uncle
no
is
way to
on
live.
something like that, and it's
but
feeling like
my
crap all
doctor
the
in
time.
Madison, he goes, no, you don't need to be on that. He goes,
Oh, okay.
you're clear and everything, and
Yeah.
your test results, and he said, no, you don't need to be on that.
So your son said it wasn't if it comes back, it's when. What is the relapse rate for this type of cancer?
Well, some of the studies I read, they said, these were maybe done 10 years ago, but it's
okay.
they said the
that's like a long
treatments
time.
have become much better now.
Yeah.
Okay.
5 years.
Okay.
I thought, well,
But they don't
It's gonna
have
be
the
more than that.
magical $20 under $20.
right,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So
it sounds
no.
like your kids were clearly probably your biggest support system through
Oh
all of
yes,
this.
yes.
Was there anything out in your community? Is
Yeah.
there anything else that you were leaning into, like whether it be religion or spiritual or
Facebook
Just,
groups or
yeah?
Well, I don't practice. I have faith. I just don't practice a religion.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And yes, I prayed. I pray every day.
Yeah.
And like I said, I thank God and Jesus every day that I survived that. And like I said, I now have an attitude of gratitude every day. And it's just like nothing's, I'm not going to be mad at anyone or anything. I'm just
Even your
happy to be
ex-boyfriend?
alive.
Even your ex-boyfriend.
Even your ex-boyfriend. Just gotta ask. Okay.
Even so.
We're not mad at him. Okay.
No, it's just that I actually feel sorry for him.
yeah.
Just like, because
Yeah.
I said, no, you don't get this anymore.
Right.
Yeah. No.
Absolutely. So
But,
any suggestions or offerings of support to others that are going through this or just finding out or
Just like I said, have a positive attitude.
attitude of
Fight.
gratitude.
Exactly. And another thing I did too is I stayed away from sugar
Oh yeah, they say that.
and a lot of
sugar.
starchy foods, alcohol. I stayed away. That was tough.
Yeah.
I was able to after
You love your Miller
after
Lights, right? Miller Light.
Michelob Ultra.
Oh, Michelob Ultra.
So,
Okay.
and Carbless or some of the other
Okay.
the seltzers now and then. But it was there's a local establishment I go to, and former students own it, and I was able to, after my third chemo and before I had my surgery, like the week before my surgery in December, I thought, I'm going to go have a beer. So I walked in and I said, I haven't had a beer in over 4 months. I'm going to have one.
And then someone's going to have to drive me home because I haven't had one in
the
4
owner
months.
was there. One of the owners was there, and he goes, and I'm buying JoAnne.
Oh.
So I think I had 2 beers. So it was like, yeah. So.
Well, they do say that cancer feeds off sugar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Are you still reducing your sugar intake?
I try to.
Okay.
I try to.
Yeah.
So
You got to live though, too, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I like my ice cream every now and then.
yes.
So, but
Yeah.
so yeah, but no, it's
So every 3 months for the rest of your life, you have to go in to get checked, or is this just like
it'll depend
preliminary?
you know, on how things go. I go again October 4th.
Okay.
So and have some tests done and exam and see how things go there. So
It seems
I'm
like
very
you're,
fortunate.
yes, like your community, your family, but your attitude was such
Yes. And it really got me because I've had gone to funerals in the last year from people. A former student, one of my first track star athletes, you know, passed away from cancer
Oh my goodness.
a few months ago. And it's just like, I cried and then I thought, why have I been so lucky and other people not?
Yeah.
And it's just that, man upstairs must think I need a little more work down here before I'm worthy. So,
Yeah. I mean, so my dad is going through treatments right now, and his doctor did say like 80 to 90% of it is attitude. But then I feel like those people that have a great attitude and do still not survive. There are, you could have the best attitude ever and still not survive. And I think
exactly.
I think your point of like, you don't know why you aren't going to know why it was you and not your student, but to just be thankful and to live every day.
Yes.
The attitude for gratitude.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes. And I tell my grandkids, you know, just I kind of stop and smell the roses type thing. Be appreciative of everything you have, and you know, don't take things for granted.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you never know. You never know.
If July 5th is going to hit and you're going to have a tinge of pain and it's cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
it's amazing.
it was.
Well, thank you for surviving so that you could be here to talk with us.
Oh, thank you. I run into people and they said, "Oh, it's so good to see you." And I said, "It's great to be seen rather than just be a memory."
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm very fortunate. I'm blessed.
Thank you for sharing.
So, well, thank you for having me.
Yes. We end each episode with a quote. I feel like you've said so many good ones along the way, but what was your one that you kept
The
coming
one
back
that they
to?
put on all the t-shirts and sweatshirts and everything is attitude is everything and everything is attitude. And they put JoJo on there. So
Oh.
Say it one more time for us.
attitude is everything and everything is attitude.
Thank you for listening and being a part of our community. Please follow us on Facebook and Instagram. If you'd like to connect, we can be reached at podcastfromtheretohere@gmail.com. We hope you continue on this journey with us.